Hey guys, it's Andrew at Central Scoot. Last video was about the Hiboy S2. Today I'm going to talk about its older brother, the Hiboy S2 Pro. So a couple of major differences between the S2 and the S2 Pro, which I covered a little bit in the last video. The motor's a lot stronger. So the S2 has a 350 watt motor. This is a 500 watt motor. And so functionally, although they both have an advertised same speed of about 19 miles per hour, this one is going to get there a lot faster. It's going to accelerate faster. It's going to be able to handle going up hills. It's going to have just better torque in general. And so you're going to get a lot more power. The tire is bigger. This is a 10-inch tire, whereas the S2 is just an 8.5-inch tire. And so this should be a little bit of a smoother ride. And then most importantly, the battery. It's almost twice as big. This one, they advertise a range of 25 miles versus the S2, which is 16 miles. Of course, usually, a scooter goes only about half to 2/3 of what's the advertised. And so this one you can functionally expect to get about 10 to 15 miles, even though they advertise about 25 miles. Pretty much the same, build and body as the S2. The most common things that you're gonna, run into is gonna be either, from an electronic standpoint, either the batteries can go bad if they get water damaged, or in general, or the controller goes bad, but they're really easy to access, and so this cover just comes right off. Just make sure that you're protecting these bottom screws so that they don't get rounded out by hitting curbs and cement, but this cover just comes off and everything's accessible right there. Or alternatively, you might need to replace a display up here, or very rarely, we don't see this often, but like throttles or brake levers, but that's not super common. But this has pure solid tires, and so you'll never get a flat tire. Now the benefit of that is, of course, you don't have to pay or worry about the stress of figuring out how to fix a flat tire. But the downside is that it's more bumpy, and you have less traction. And so if you're only riding it for short distances, a couple miles, it's really not a big deal. You're gonna be fine. If you have to take this for long trips, 5 miles one way, then at that point, maybe comfort is more important, and so maybe elect to try to get something with air tires, because eventually the solid tires will get annoying. If you're going 5-6 miles on a single trip, and then round trip you're looking at like 12-13 miles, the vibration of just the solid tires might get annoying. But if it's short trips, 2 or 3 miles total, I think solid tires is pretty solid for an entry-level scooter that's $400 or so. One thing I want to talk about that I didn't mention in the last video, people always ask, what's the difference between the S2 Pro and the KS4 Pro, or the difference between the S2 and the KS4 in general. So functionally they're the same. They're the same motors, they're the same displays, same batteries. The only difference is that sorry, I shouldn't say the same display. That's the main difference. It's the display. So the KS4 has a slightly fancier display. It's just like a little bit more triangular, whereas the S2 and the S2 Pro has like the square display. But the motor is the same. It's still 500 watt motor between the S2 Pro and the KS4 Pro. The battery is identical, the controller is identical. The grip tape's a little bit different, so it's like cosmetic pieces. So really it's just like a look. And so if you want a slightly more elegant look, maybe go for the KS4 or the KS4 Pro. But from a practical standpoint, it's the same exact scooter, so I really wouldn't stress too much about that. That's basically it, for the Hiboy S2 Pro. Overall, it's a great scooter. We like it a lot. It's really durable, reliable, and the price difference between the S2 and the S2 Pro is only $100. And so for the most part, unless you're on like the tightest budget, it's almost always worth it. Just spend the extra 100, because you're getting a much better motor, much better battery. You're getting a better scooter overall. And so it's really worth, just bringing into that $400 price range so that you can get a better scooter overall. We love these scooters. We use them in our rental fleets, and so you can tell that they're pretty durable. We have only good things to say about them. Of course, every once in a while you're gonna get a unit that goes bad, but Hiboy's really responsive. There's no perfect scooter out there, and so the question is, when something goes bad, is the company gonna stand behind the product, send you the parts that you need to get it replaced? And the answer is yes. Hiboy does that. They're very responsive. They've got a great network, a great system. I've been very impressed with you know, how much Hiboy has grown over the years, and their efficiency, and you know, I continue to see them continuing to grow. They're going to be around for a very long time. So great things to say overall about the Hiboy brand, and you know, the products that they put out. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just go ahead and put them in the comment section below and I'll try to get to them. Otherwise, we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.